So first hour I did this one, and this is more of a day sky like what we'd see outside. Eyes up here, sit down, sir. Sit down. Okay, now, when you do your sky, requirement is you have to use two or more colors. I'm going to stay with two, sorry, not more. Two colors. Now, if you're doing your picture tomorrow, ladies, if you're doing your picture tomorrow and you want a surreal sky, it might be a little bit different, ladies and gentlemen, than what I'm doing right now. Eyes up here, please. All right, but today I'm going to ask you to do something semi-real. I have people with brushes in their hands, and they've got to be put down. All right, so this is more of a sky that we see today, where it's kind of a nice blue, summery fall day. But this one I'm going to do more of a sunset or sunrise. Sir, look up here, please. Okay, so the technique we're using, and it's on the board, is called wet into wet. And so the first thing we do is we are going to get our paintbrush with some water in it, and we're just basically going to get the paper wet. We are priming it for paint. And when I do that, what it's doing is allowing the paint to move on the paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get it wet. I'm not worried about the buildings. I don't want to paint the buildings, just the sky. So I got it wet, and you're saying, yeah, okay, mister, we can't see it. But look at how it's shiny. See that shininess? That tells me it's wet. Eyes on the board, gentlemen, ladies. Okay, so I am going to mix paint, and there's two ways that I can do this. I can take a little bit of yellow and put it on my palette right here. Mix a little bit of orange with it, and so I could do that. Or I can mix it on the paper because I already got the paper wet. So I need your eyes on the screen, please. I'm going to go ahead and start with the lighter of the two colors, and I've got, whoa, quite a bit of paint. All right, I'm going to go ahead and put some paint on. Can you see that on the screen where it's yellow? All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring that down just a little bit. There, how about that? I'm going to bring it down into close to the buildings, and while it's still wet, I'm going to add a little bit of orange to it and kind of move the orange around. Little more orange, kind of move it around and let a little bit of it move on its own. Now, if you get to the point where you have puddles of paint, see how that puddled right there? There are two options here. If it's really, really wet, you can take some paper towel and dab it. Put your paintbrush down. Or probably more successful is to clean your brush, get your brush dry like this, and then use your paintbrush to absorb some of the paint like that. And I can just keep dabbing some off and use my paintbrush as a sponge. Does that make sense? All right, so our goal for today, before we leave today, is we're going to paint this sky a semi-natural color. Sunset, blue sky. If you wanted to do a night sky, what color would we use for night sky? I have to mix two, so I heard one color. Purple and blue, like kind of darker than this, because this is purple and blue. Does that look night? No? What if I did a smidgen of black with that and I darkened it up? That would work, wouldn't it? What? Excuse me? No, not if I use just a little bit. So let's think in terms of black with water makes gray. All right? So we have gray with a little bit of black and a little bit of blue. That would be an option. So I'm going to tell you right now, you can try gray with blue and purple, or you're using one of the two options that's on the screen. All right? Lights on, please. Let's go ahead and do our sky. Whoa, skies. Hang on. My mistake. Would you please take a pencil before you begin painting and put your initials in the bottom right corner. Initials and a 2.